Leigh Bodden. I played 9 years in the NFL.
Howard Harris, Chief Strategist for my own LLC, Innovative Strategies and Solutions Consulting Group.
I'm an entrepreneur right now. I own businesses. I own a gym, Retro Fitness in Lanham.
I call myself an entrepreneur as well, from Florida A&M University, undergrad, grad degree, and just an ultimate hustler.
Yeah, for me, when I felt like I was good in life, financially first was 2011 is when my last year playing football, where I set a goal. I wanted to get a certain amount of money, you know what I'm saying? And I got that money, you know, so I felt like I was good. But, you know, obviously in life, mentally, and, you know, you don't really get to a point where I don't think you just are satisfied with, you know, everything that you're doing and everything that you want to do. So, but I felt like I was straight financially 2011 because of, again, the money that I made, because I had it in my head. This is what I felt like I was going to be comfortable with. But as far as life, you know, I don't feel like, I don't know if anybody is ever comfortable, because every day is just different. Everything changes, you know, in your mental state, in your, you know, life.
Nah, I concur. So my path was probably like more, you know, regular, you know, traditional kind of academic, you know, take care of my schoolwork, get to, you know, college, you know, hustle your way, loan it up, get your way through college, and then was able to come out, you know, my undergrad and my MBA, and then was able to come out and kind of demand a really good job out the gates. You know what I mean? The difference between like the academic path and the athletic path is that there really isn't like, I couldn't really set my sight on like, I need that like a big contract. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't, even though I was good at what I did, it wasn't like I was gonna be able to gain like an extension or something where somebody was able to give me like a signing bonus of like I could be like, yeah, I need that. Like once I get that, I'm happy. So my whole thing was always, I started feeling like good financially when I just started not really worrying about money. Like when I started getting, when you start getting the checks where, you know, you start getting the checks but you don't be checking the bank account no more. You know what I mean? Like it's just little stuff like that. Like it's basic, but like you ain't really like, oh, well, did the joint hit?
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, so at the end of the day, like when those days started hitting, like coming upon me, and they came upon me at a pretty decent age, I was like, oh, okay, so I'm not really worried about that no more. You know what I'm saying? Like I can make money. You know what I'm saying? So once I got to a point where I knew I could make it, I would say that I was somewhat comfortable in that particular perspective, because it wasn't about, Dad, can I get it? You know what I mean? It was about, oh, okay, no, you can get it. It's just about, you know, you might get it this way, you might get it that way, but you can make money. So the ability, the understanding and the ability to be able to make it, no matter what the environment may be, that was when I knew, I was like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Because I can travel with that. Now, mentally, for me personally, I'm never really that comfortable. You know what I mean? Like I got, between my family and trying to like make sure I'm like, you know, as strong of a parent as I can be, between, you know, just continuing to work out here in the world and also just trying to run the race. I kind of stay in a place of growth, in a growth place. And I think whenever you're growing, it's very difficult to be just like super comfortable, you know what I mean? But I think, you know, as you grow and as you learn more about yourself, and you understand kind of what makes you tick and like what kind of brings satisfaction to your life through self-awareness, you know, I'm able to get closer to that comfort level. You know what I mean? So for me, I know that certain things about me, it might not necessarily jive with somebody else in regards to what makes them tick. So for me, my things is family. My things is, I'm pretty simplistic. So I don't have to have a whole lot of lavish things, materialistic. I'm not a materialistic person to be in a comfortable place. So I think it's important that we distinguish that comfort can be more of a state of mind, which is really based on kind of what appeals to your state of mind, right? So if some people, they love money, that appeals to their state of mind. Some people love relationships, that appeals to their state of mind. Some people love just various things,
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think understanding those things about ourselves helps us to get to a place of comfort.
Right. And yeah, so again, I mean, just hearing you talk, like being comfortable is, like you said, I mean, it's different aspects that you have as a person.
Right.
You know what I mean? You a dad, you know, you're a brother, you're a, you know, a son, you all of that. And, you know, you kind of got to fill those roles and be comfortable with, again, just like who you are, you know what I mean? And, you know, just doing things for them it can definitely, you know, make you comfortable in that aspect. And it's just how you raise who you are.
Yes.
And like you just talked about, because everybody's different and everybody just has their own comfort level, you know, in their mindset. And same thing with financially. I mean, because see, me just being in sports, you know, like you talked about, you know, shit, I had some overdrafts when I was when I was young, you know, but I was
Right.
getting, you know, I made $225,000 as a 21-year-old,
Right.
you know,
Right.
but then you seeing guys making, you know, millions of dollars. So, you know, I felt like I just wasn't comfortable, and I felt like, you know, I wanted to be able to, like I said, get to a number in my head and to be able to save. And it's not materialistic, it's just because I want to be able to do a lot of different things, you know, open businesses, travel.
Right.
These are the things that I wanted to do to make me be comfortable in my own, you know, life and my own mind. You know, just in life in general.
That flexibility is a mug, man. That flexibility go a long way. You know, that's one thing about, you know, being able to acquire, you know, some good checks out here is that, you know, it allows you more flexibility. So if I want to, you know, do this, or if you want to do that, you know, you can't do that with no capital.
Right.
You know
Exactly.
what I mean? So I think that's that's extremely important. And I totally understand where you're coming from, because especially on the athletic side, you know, y'all's money kind of tells y'all like who's good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I'm coming in here making 250 and I see somebody else in my same position, you know what I mean, making whatever, you know, making 10 million or whatever, I'm like, oh, okay, so it's the difference between 10 million and 250.
Right.
So I'm trying to get to that 10 million, not just because I want that 10 mil, but because I think I'm that bull.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
Because it's not all the time about that money. It's about them,
which was also
seeing the
comfort for
value.
you. That's also part of your mental comfort too.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So yeah, no, I totally get it, and I just think that's part of the more experiences that we go through. Like, you know, you grew up around here, then you go to Duquesne, you know, then you go through all your collegiate experiences, different NFL teams. Each experience probably brought something more for your self-awareness.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I feel like for myself, like coming from Connecticut, then going all the way down to Florida, then going on different internships to LA, see these places at a very young age. Those experiences allowed me to kind of understand myself better, and then therefore have a clearer path to comfort.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think if I was always watching somebody else or trying to live somebody else's life or trying to see something through somebody else's lens, I probably would have always been missing the mark on my comfort level, because I really wouldn't be doing it based on myself.
Right, yeah, you ain't focused on yourself.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And so that was the good thing about just even sports, you know, that I was always the reason why I was gonna be able to make that money. Obviously that's everybody else too, but
Right.
you know, sometimes, you know, it's a bunch of other different things that, you know, may go into the fold with somebody else, you know, maybe another profession, but I just had to work hard and, you know, put the physical work in to be able to, you know, do what I need to do and just focus on me, you know, and not necessarily focus on, you know, I guess anybody else, and not looking at anybody else to make me, you know, kind of who I am.
And I think that's really the key to all of this, was that in order to be the best of you, and in order for me to be the best of myself, we got to put the blinders on to a certain degree and just focus on whatever our particular missions were.
Right.
You know what I mean? So your mission was, look, I'm nice with this ball. I'm gonna get to the highest levels. I'm gonna work my ass off to get there. My thing was, you know what I mean? I don't really know exactly what I'm nice at, but I'm good with these books. Right. You get me? So at the end of the day, I'm gonna hop in this MBA program. I'm gonna get my joint early. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna come out here and I'm gonna let these cats know, okay, I'm gonna get to the highest level. So luckily, you know, I've been able to sit next to, you know, multi-billionaires. You know what I mean? As a dude looking like me. You know what I'm saying? Like not changing up, not code switching, none of that stuff. But that all comes from understanding who I am and having that, quite frankly, run quite a solo race.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's other cats that, you know, you dap up, you cool with, everybody, you know, you go bang it up with, you know, everybody good. But when it comes down to this work, that's on me.
Yeah, that's,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think the same thing for you. Like, I don't think you would get to where you got to if you didn't say, look, man, I'm owning my work.
Right.
This is my race. And so I'll holler at y'all, but I gotta get there.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I'm saying?
and you know, and that's, I guess, you know, that's every, you know, every profession.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, because
transferable.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
transferable, and like focusing on you, like you said, running your own race, and not worrying about, you know, what everybody else is doing, and you know, you got other friends, you got other people that could influence you, and you may want to go and be with, but you know, you got that one goal in mind.
vision.
You know what I'm saying?
That
And,
vision, man.
Yeah, that vision.
That vision,
Right.
man. You know what I'm saying? I always had really good support growing up. So like, I never really, my parents was around. You know, I had good support people. I had good positive influences in my life. So I never really ever was doubting myself as far as what I could potentially do. I think that was very important, was that support system. However, when I got into the real world, you know what I mean, and you start being out here and start to like grow up, you know, you start to get married, you know what I mean, you start to have kids, you start doing different things. You start to, it's uncharted territory in many cases. Like, me just doing me is easy. But once I become like a responsible father, now I gotta become a husband. These are all places that are brand new for me.
Right.
And so, you know, unfortunately, my marriage ain't work. You know what I'm saying? And so, in going through that particular time, that was a point of failure for me. And so, I never forget, like, I went for like almost like a year where like my kids really wasn't around as regularly as they were, and I was like lonely. You know what I'm saying? And like during that time, even though I had accomplished a lot, you know, I had bought a little house in DC, like, you know, we was doing some pretty good things, positive things. I was like thinking like, you know, damn, like I failed. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna like quit for a little bit. Like wasn't gonna like quit my job. I had to make money.
Right.
But like mentally, I had checked out. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, so I kind of quit on, you know, being outgoing. You know what I mean? I quit on smiling. You know what I mean? I quit on laughing. You know what I'm saying? And it was for a moment of time where I look back on that time now and I say, damn, that shit made me so much stronger.
Right.
But I think you have to get to a point where you feel a little helpless, a little weak, a little bit to the point of quitting, where you find out really what you really built up, what's really been put into you. You know what I mean? That's really, and also, I mean, you know, we ain't gonna make this a religious show, but that's part of what was instilled in me. And along with the work ethic, along with the support, you know, really having to lean on that and going through that process really helped me to start looking inward and not look so much outward. You know what I mean? A lot of people, they kind of, you know, the world gets bad, stuff gets tight, stuff gets funny, you know, checking account feels weird or whatever. You say, hey man, like, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. And unfortunately, that puts you in that victim mode where you're not able to really like get yourself out of that.
Right.
Like, you can actually bury yourself in that shit, right? So for me, I was just on some like, let me look at what I've done to contribute to my situation. Even though I would say I was a good husband, I would say I played my part. You know what I mean, in all my situations. So, but even within that, you can still find places where I contributed to my own situation at the time.
Absolutely.
And I think owning that, and then being able to truly own it, is the only way you can actually address it. And then once you address it, you know, that's kind of how you come out. So for me, I think if I didn't get to a place where I was almost ready to quit, that was going to be like, that's like a level of understanding of myself that I probably was going to neglect, and I wouldn't be as strong as I am today.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so now when I go out here, it's like, I done been through everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it really don't matter what comes my way. It doesn't matter, money come, money go, jobs, no jobs, this, that, and the third, stuff might not happen, but I know myself, and I know what brought me out of what I was in before, and I'm gonna continue to go back to that same source because it's already been proven.
Right.
So, you know, my recommendation for anybody that feels like they about ready to quit is to look inward, find out what you potentially have contributed to the situation, and try to get a better understanding of how you yourself can actually like pull yourself up out of the situation via what you may be built with. Now, some people ain't built with that.
Right.
Some people wasn't instilled with all of that.
Right.
Some people don't have the support system. So I understand that. But even in those situations, you still have to take ownership for where you are.
Right.
And if you can do that and do it in a real way, it's gonna be tough. Like I said, mine was almost a year. You know what I mean? People could say I might have, somebody from the outside could have said I was depressed. Maybe I was. I ain't gonna see, black folks got a problem going to get therapy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So at the end of the day, maybe I was. But what I know was I came out much happier on the other side based on what I knew I had inside of me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's nothing, man. It's at no point where I wanted to quit. It was no point in my life where I wanted to quit. Whether it was instilled in me just by God, you know what I mean, by looking at other people or whatever it was, I don't know, but that's just always been me. Has it been times I should have quit though? Absolutely. Like I should have quit a bunch of times, and again, to talk about sports and, obviously that's my background, it's the odds. The odds, they say the odds of making it is less than, 1%.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially when I was playing Little League, but I always thought that I could be that less than 1% all the time. And then when I went through things, man, listen, I was in high school, 10th grade, DeMatha High School, one of the best high schools around this area.
Right.
I'm thinking that's the only way I can make it to the league, to go to, prestigious high school like that. And in 10th grade, fourth quarter comes and they call me to go in the game. And as I'm running in the game, they blew the whistle and the game was over. And so I'm 15 years old. How many 15-year-olds would quit and be like, man, fuck this team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't me. Like I came to the next practice even harder. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people should have quit. I ain't want to quit, you know what I mean? Because I wanted to show them that I was good enough,
Right.
So it's always proving, somebody wrong and just having a chip on my shoulder and again, just internally, just not wanting to give up and again, just proving people wrong and just being a precedent to the people who may be on the bench that want to quit,
Right.
you know what I mean, and that don't want to keep going. And I know I had in my mind, like I said, what I really wanted to do, and there was nobody that was going to stop me from doing it. And there was times in the NFL, but reaching the NFL, there ain't no way I'm gonna quit at that, at that level. You know what I mean? I got there. That's where I wanted to be. So, but it, tough times come through everything, and
Injuries.
Yeah, injuries.
Yeah.
You doubt. Can you come back? But I wouldn't even say I doubt it.
Okay.
Everybody else doubts it. In sports, they be like, oh, is this guy gonna come back?
Oh, yeah.
He gonna be hobbled and. I'm thinking I'm gonna come back stronger. I want to be the comeback player of the year. That's my mentality, and that's always been my mentality. So quit was never in my state of mind. You know what I mean? I just always wanted to keep going. You know what I mean? And so I should have quit a bunch of times, but I knew what I had set in my mind, and obviously kids got dreams, and I wasn't about to let my dream, go anywhere else. But with me, you know what I mean? And I just wanted that so bad that I wasn't gonna stop until I got there. You know what I mean? So that's really why I never, had that in my mind.
That's what's up. You let your shit bubble quietly and then you blow, but keep it cool. You know what I mean? And that's from Jay-Z, Coming of Age. You know what I mean? And the reason why I like that, John, the reason why it stuck with me so heavy was that's back, probably 96, somewhere around there, 96, 97. I'm thinking about it. I'm about to go to college, trying to get ready to make that next move in my life. And Jay-Z was always like my man. So like the reason why Jay was my man is because I felt like similar personality types. You know what I mean? Like kind of chill, but at the same time like got business done. You know what I mean? Like wasn't to be played with, but also wasn't like no loudmouth.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, Hov was like on some prophetic type stuff always. That's like what I always liked about his music. And so like one of the things that he said in that when he said that line, he always was giving like advice and dropping jewels. And so when he says you let your shit bubble quietly and then you blow, but keep your cool, it wasn't like it hit me back then, but it hit me like every year after that, because every time, pretty much what I got from that was, you grind, you blow up. But as soon as you blow up, don't get so full of yourself. Like, it's almost like you blow up, but then you gotta stabilize. So like you do it again.
Right.
Like, so you just keep blowing, but you never get so caught up in the moment, right? So you never get so caught up in like the success. Like, oh man, I'm killing it right now. I'm the shit.
Right.
Relax. You know what I mean? Go back. You know what I'm saying? Go back. Let's recreate what you did, and let's go to another. Let's go to that next level the next time. So it was just one of them type of lines where it seems like such a small line, but it was so applicable. You know what I mean? In regards to like being able to like stay steady.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I think we have so much up and down in life. Like, people so up, man, so down. Oh man, I'm killing it. My job, I'm making this amount of money in my job, and then you get laid off, and it's like, oh, well now, damn, I'm down here. I don't know what I'm, you know what I mean? Right. I don't know what I'm going to do. Da 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 da. And it's like, nah, Slim. Like, when you make it, keep it cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it never get too high, never get too low. Because guess what? It really works the same way. Like, if shit is really bad, you keep it cool too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so it was just one of them type of lines that just like stuck with me through life, because like I said, as I've done well in certain cases, and as I've had some hardships in certain cases, it's been a line that's been very consistent in regards to like, live life like this and you're gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might get a little bit high blood pressure here sometimes, you might get a little angst and anxiety sometimes, but if you keep a calm level, you're gonna be able to blow over and over and over again.
Right. See, so mine is more of, it's been hooks, and I can't even go into depth with the songs, because it's a whole bunch of lyrics, right? So I'll start with like Me Against the World.
Right.
I mean, if you just think about just the chorus,
Huge.
Right? You know what I'm saying? It's just me against the world. I got nothing to lose. You know
I can see you probably like working out and listening
right,
to that shit.
Right,
like,
and that's what I'm saying. So as a kid, you know what I mean? Like, I just felt all the time like it was just me against the world.
Right.
And at the end of the day, like, that's what it is.
That's
what it is.
Actually, the journey.
That's actually what it is. It's
yes,
me against the
journey.
world out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I took everything, especially again, sports and just everything in general. I took that and just applied it to my everyday life, and really just grinded, through that, and it's a lot of like the hook, gets me, you know what I mean? But then the lyrics that he had, some of the lyrics that he had, like, reeled me in.
Pac got so many of those, man.
He got so many of those, and I won't even get into,
when you bring Pac in, I'm thinking so many of them.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So that is one of them, and I would say Nas too.
Okay.
Nas, this was really big for me going like my senior year in high school. It was life is what you make it, nigga. I'ma make it. No matter what it takes, my nigga, we gonna take it. You know what I mean? And so that, was really influential, because it's, life, again, life is exactly what you make it. You could be whatever the hell you wanna be, right? And so that's what I felt like, you know what I mean? And so to me, music, it's damn near like books. You know what I mean? When you listening to lyrics, they writing this stuff down for people. Like you said, you dropping jewels.
Consumption, man.
Right. And so a lot of people sometimes just listen to the music of it. I listen to the lyrics of it, because again, those is my books.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how we learn.
That's how I learned. And I learned through those musics. And again, and then one more hook that I could just even remember was Big Things. It was Nas too. He said, he ain't got time for, all that other stuff. He was in the big things.
Right.
You know what I mean? No time to get sidetracked. I'm in the big things.
Right.
So again, and this is like as I was a kid growing up, and I'm listening to them, and it's kind of propelling my life, you know what I mean, towards, these things, doing big things, making life whatever I want it to be, and then it's just being me against the world. And that just propelled me. And those songs, man, stuck with me, throughout life. And I would listen to them sometimes again while I was in the NFL, because, that's what pushed me and drove me when I was younger.
Restore the feeling.
Keep that feeling of that hungry, 15, 16-year-old kid.
Right. I think one other quote I got from Pop, and I remember it a long time ago, and it's really apropos in this day and age, is like the realest niggas have the fewest friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, real niggas don't have a whole lot of friends. That's pretty much what he was saying. He's just saying, like, if you got a whole lot of friends, You probably ain't the realest nigga out there. You know what I'm saying? And so, and it's anti to what like people would say now, right? Because if I don't have as many friends on Twitter, or if I don't have as many friends on social media, I ain't popping. You know what I mean? But ultimately, like, realistically, in real life, once again, less is more.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're running a singular race. So like, if you got all these different people feeding you stuff and telling you they this friend and that friend and this friend and that friend, how easy is it for you to really focus on running your race and getting to where you're trying to get to? And I think the more that people can go back to like understanding that like your number of friends and acquaintances, maybe that's actually signifies more of your own personal insecurities than actually like how thorough you really are.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the popularity game is kind of corny sometimes.
Yeah, no, it is, because so I mean, just talking about that, you know, high school popularity. Everybody wants to kind of be popular in high school, but I was the one. I've never really said much, had nothing to say, because sometimes I felt like nobody had the mindset like me. So that's why I had to listen to Pac or Nas, because I felt like they had the mindset like me. And if I talk to people in high school about, you know, my dreams or what I wanted to do, again, they probably doubt it, or they probably think, you know, how you gonna do that? You know what I mean? So I just kept it to myself, and you know, had a small group of friends, obviously, you know, just playing football. But hallways, you know, my boy, he used to always tell me, he was like, man, you know, girls don't never approach you because they think you know what I'm saying? Like you mad at the world, you know what I'm saying? Because I be in the hallway just focused, getting to class, and not worried about, you know what I'm saying? So, but nah, keeping a tight circle is always good. But again, music was always too just something that I could go to, because I felt like, again, they was, you know, they damn near was talking to me, and I was like talking back, kind of, you know, by my actions, I guess.
That's actually what the new generation has missed out on, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the music and the beats and everything, and everybody has all the dances and everything. That's cool. But who's really talking to you? You know what I mean? Like, to be able to pull you through, or maybe be able to actually give you that push for a young man to be able to get through the hallways and just stay focused. Like, who can you put on your what's pumping through these kids' earphones to help give them that motivation to keep going? Right. And I think it's few and far between. I think it's still out there. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but it's not. But it's not as popular as how it was when we were younger, because of, you know, obviously the streams and how you can get music nowadays, and how many people can, you know, have music.
Accessibility.
Accessibility. And so it's just a bunch out there. It's always coming out. You know, listen, back then, I mean, it's a couple CDs coming out, you know what I mean? And that's all you could get. And you got to listen to it.
And it took time. You had to wait for it.
Right, you had to wait for it. Right.
Nowadays, it's like, here it is. We got another one for you.
Yeah, we got another one. Tomorrow's a new song, you know.
No substance.
Right, no substance.
You're not able to take nobody somewhere. So I think both me and you, we both got, from our lyrics and just from our experiences with hip hop in general, we was not only able to, you know, nod our heads to it, but we also was able to get motivation and drive off of it as well.
Exactly.
And that's dope. So outside of my family, because I'll go and say, you know, my pops, you know what I mean? But outside of my family, what I would say is, so when going through school, like high school, you used to have to do book reports and everything like that. And so, you know, we had, every once in a while you get a chance to pick your own book, right? And I think it might have been 8th grade, 9th grade, somewhere around there. And I was looking for a book, but I was like starting to I was really like coming into myself, like coming into my blackness and all that. So like I was looking for like a motivating black book or whatever. So I found this dude named Reginald Lewis, you know what I'm saying? And like, I didn't really know much about him, but I saw like the cover of his book said, "Why should white guys have all the fun?" And I was like, yo, that shit was dope. You know what I mean? This is why should they have all the fun? This makes a lot of sense. So I bring it back to the crib and I read it. And I don't know, I wasn't a big reader when I was young, right? So like I was good with books, but I wasn't like a big reader. Yeah. But this book I read like mad times. Like I did a book report on it, it was really good. I got an A. I mean, A+ probably, you know what I'm saying? But I read it mad times just for like pleasure, like just pleasure, you know what I'm saying? And like to understand like how he as a black man was able to like become like the first black billionaire, you know what I mean? And like be able to like own major companies and like do like lead corporate takeovers. And I didn't really know all about that stuff back then, but I knew And this nigga was doing some
different,
groundbreaking, crazy, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like he was doing some real stuff. And so from that point on, like I told you, I kind of went down that business road. Like I ended up majoring in business, you know, getting my MBA, all that kind of stuff, and just kind of continuing down the business road. And I think, quite frankly, Reginald Lewis probably provided a lot of the inspiration to say, oh, I could do that. You know what I mean? Whereas, you know, probably people around me, I probably wouldn't have got that. I probably wouldn't have had that same picture.
Right.
So yeah, I would say Reginald Lewis, you know what I mean? Shout out to the boy Reginald Lewis.
Right. So what's crazy is, so you said that was in 8th grade?
Yeah, I think it was 8th grade somewhere.
So I ain't know about Reginald Lewis until I heard Nas say it in the Nigga album.
Isn't that crazy?
Right, and then I started researching Reginald Lewis. I never heard of him.
Right.
You know what I mean? I never heard of this guy. And this is, you know, going back to, it's another topic, but how we aren't, you know, really taught, you know, these things about our, you know, black people and our history. But so me, again, like you said, I wasn't an avid reader. Like my dad used to always make me read all the time. I ain't, you know, grow up with him, but like summertimes and weekends. So me, I would say Malcolm X, right? Just because of, you know, the brashness of, you know, how he was and unapologetic of being black, standing up for blacks, but just watching the movie, you know, just watching the Spike Lee movie and kind of, I used to watch that mad times, you know what I mean?
Times,
so,
mad times.
yeah, so that kind of just influenced me, and I liked all of that. And being in the world that I lived in, I mean, I just remember even seeing, let's say, what's the dude's name that got beat, Rodney King, you know, all those types of things that was going on with black people, like it was going on back then and still going on today. And just seeing, you know, again, Malcolm X speeches, and like I said, just the unapologetic and standing up for who he was, and then him kind of converting, I guess, because his early on path was kind of like anti-white, you know, but then he kind of, you know, was growing as he is, just like a person. You know, everybody grows, but just I feel like that he was really influential to me, man. I remember even, man, in Cleveland, they asked me about that. I put it in their magazine. I used to wear all black on his birthday, you know, to our facility. Everybody had on their Browns gear. I come out in all black. They was like, Leigh, what you doing? I was all blacked out. Had the black tens, Jordans. Yeah, so I would just say Malcolm X, just because of just being a strong black guy, standing up for, you know, for what he believed in, and fighting for us. And that's just who I saw, you know, and as I grew, you know, you saw more and more people like that, but I think it was Malcolm X, you know, the first one.
With you.
Stayed with me,
No, Malcolm was that boy, man. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like when you start pulling out guys that have, you know, when you literally have whole movements against you, and you're able to like step out here and like stand on your own too, and like whether you lean on your faith or whatever you might be leaning on, and be able to like take on the masses for what you believe, on behalf of what you believe, like that's like one of the epitomes of strength.
Right, and not being afraid of what's gonna come. Again, and that's just, again, through all these people and all these lyrics, you know, I think maybe that is what built my character, to not be afraid of anything, to not want to quit, to, you know, just, you know, again, just being unapologetic of who I am and going for what I want. And, you know, it just molded me.
I like that. I like the unapologetic. You know what I mean? Like you see it on shirts, and the unapologetically black and all that kind of stuff, and everything gets like, you know, kind of like termized or whatever, you know, put into a term. But at the end of the day, that whole unapologetic is like I noticed that like from like some of these artists, like if we're taking it from like, you know, our inspiration, if I'm looking at like a Jay-Z or a Kanye West or somebody like these type of individuals, you know, people might on a one-off say, you know, these guys are assholes, you know, right, or whatever. But at the end of the day, they are unapologetically whoever they are. It's like, you're gonna accept it or not. You know, you know, whatever people might want to say about Kanye, including myself, he's unapologetically whoever he is. You know what I'm saying? Say his name for hope. So at the end of the day, it's like, when you get past the point where you keep apologizing for yourself, and you just say, hey, I'm unapologetically out here, and you know that you have to have figures in the past to to be able to have that in the present, because otherwise you won't have no examples.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I mean, the same characteristics that they have right now, that's what made them who they are.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And just being stubborn and not, again, wanting to conform and just be what people want you to be, or what you think the world wants you to be, or you should be. You know what I mean? Again, everything, being different, that's what changes the world.
They
what I
try to
mean?
put you in a box so they can. So
Yeah, absolutely.
They try to put you in a box so they can.
So it's just man, those are the game changers in the world, is the people who, step out, like you said, like have faith and step out and be, who they are, because and not worrying about what everybody else is going to think of you.
Those willing to take bullets. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
I respect those willing to take the bullets. Like that's how I feel about myself now in my life. Like I take bullets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can, like, I'll take some bullets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's not no tough guy talk. It's that armor that you get by being unapologetic. And I feel like that same way I feel is the same way maybe a Malcolm might have felt. You know what I mean? Like the same way such and such might have felt, the same way that Jesus might have felt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like to the point where, shit, I'm out here. I'll for my people, for what I believe in, for my folks, I'll take it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when you get to that point, man, what can they do with you?
Yeah, and so last thing too, just being a leader, that's what it takes. I mean, you got to be able to take the bullet, and so it's captains on teams. A lot of times, I was never a captain, but I was always a leader. But I was a leader that sometimes the coaches didn't necessarily want, because I would be the one to say, hey man, something ain't right, or I'd be the one to step out.
Right.
And like you said, take them bullets to where
Not just fall in line.
Right, not
Yeah.
just fall in line
Right.
to kind of what they doing, because sometimes coaches need to be coached too. You know what I
Right.
mean? They
That's
human
real.
beings. Everything, they ain't perfect, but they don't like to get challenged sometimes. And that's a lyric from Me Against the World. They punish the people that's asking questions. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of times happens when you questioning things. They punish that person. They don't want that person to kind of give those other people, kind of that strength
Yeah.
to be able to stand up to them. So that's the leader I've always been through every step of my life. And sometimes it got me in trouble. Like I took them bullets,
Yeah, take
but
bullets.
but it's okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I was okay with standing up for everybody, because I know this what everybody think.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Somebody gotta do it.
somebody got to do it. And I was just that guy.
That's dope.
Yeah.